to mid lane as Sejuani now being picked up by Dynamics, and they're already off to a start where they have a lot of scaling. However, if that Varus is a poke Varus and a control mage comes out on B4-B5...
Weird for me, though. That's giving away that Sungyun's likely to be going the lethal tempo route. Because we often see poke Varus paired with something like a Morgana, something like a Karma, to make sure that they just trash the lane. But that is not what Nautilus does at all, as Guga is going to lock away the set. Somehow set falls to the final pick on red side. And that is going to be the support choice here, as we'll see how it's going to work out. I think Dynamics got exactly what they wanted, but I think you're right. I think Seorabeol's roster is looking a lot better out of the draft this time around.
Now, we don't know necessarily what that even means, because on paper, Seorabeol's draft, I think, is actually kind of nice. It's very ideal, all things considered. The Nautilus is a little bit out of left field. I'm not totally sure why that champion came in, although there is a bit of limited options when you are blind picking the support in that spot. We'll see if Varus does have Comet when the game loads in. However, what last game showed us is just because the composition is okay on paper doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to pilot it the way that it's supposed to be in order to translate well inside of the game. So maybe Dynamics, even though they have a somewhat sinful team composition, like you were saying, it might just be what they want, and they might just be able to coordinate it a lot better than their opponents inside of the game. Kuzan, a bit out of theme with his teammates, but if Zoe gets ahead, she's still Zoe.
Yeah, and also their mid game is going to be very strong with the Zoe and the Aatrox there. So might be that Beyond can spend some time power leveling to level 6 and then start getting these ganks working when both the Aatrox and the Zoe are feeling powerful. But Team Dynamics now at match point. If they win this, they get into the LCK. This is absolutely huge. Remember, guys, if you promote to the LCK, it is $2 million off your franchising fee. As far as the buy-in is concerned, if you're buying in from outside of the LCK, you do have to pay a little bit of extra money just so that we can make sure that it's more likely that an LCK team is, a current LCK team, sorry, is able to get into the franchised version of the LCK.
Dynamics are just one game away from it. It will be the Poke Varus. Yeah.
It's so strange that it's come in with the Nautilus. So we'll just have to see how it works. I guess, you know, we're used to seeing players like Deft, players like Teddy playing the Varus. Sungyun has always been a bow and arrow fan. His Varus and Ashe are very practiced. Sort of like a little Prey when he was in the LCK. And still does play these champions very well, but we'll just see. I mean, it does make sense, right? I mean, once you hit level 6, there is so much CC out of that duo that you should be able to lock someone down and kill them, but it's not going to be throughout the laning phase multitudes of poke, you know? Like what the Morgana option or the Karma option does allow you.
Well, we do need to see what is going to happen as this early game does transpire. Kuzan taking a very hefty damage. Now, what we're looking for is the true mark of a Zoe. So,
when's the redemption?
Where's the redemption?
Yeah.
I think that we're looking for Redemption Ignite Redemption here to really just
that'll
make
show
this
us
a little
whether
bit balanced.
Kuzan's
yes,
good.
Correct, correct, yes.
Because it's all a skill thing. If you roll more redemptions, that just means you're a better player. As Kakao, I believe, walked over that ward and is going to start off this blue buff. Guga is going to rotate in as well. Gets that ward down, knows exactly what's going on, but Nova gets the inside track. Kuzan trying to come over, but Danchung gets his ward down, and this is just going to be the steal of the blue. Blue buff on the other side of the map is still available, but it looks like Kakao is just going to be able to walk back. So a 3-buff start for Kakao. Definitely good news for him. As Moonshot comes in, FaZe gets some free damage onto Nova. And Depth's Grasp landing here, as we haven't really had a look at the top side. This was Tao's choice into the Aatrox, as Rich is actually having a decent time in this lane thus far.
And with this priority, I mean, he has two options. He can either invade with the Sejuani and try to go for the blue buff and help her out, or alternatively, could have just done a cheater recall, picked up a call for himself. He's going to place the very standard ward that gives vision onto the Gromp before just returning back up to top lane. And you can see that Zoe, it seems like Kuzan having a pretty good time here in mid lane as we have a pretty hefty trade.
Yeah, Base Breaker comes down. The Ignite is ticking, but Nova makes his way out. Sangyun, good damage back onto FaZe, who thankfully still has some ammo left in his Severum. That's going to get a bunch of his health back as Kakao lying in wait, trying to get a counter engage here as there are some low health bars on Seorabeol's side.
The thing is that Nova, I don't think would ever stand on the right-hand side if Jarvan wasn't here, and I would imagine that Dynamics should read this.
Yeah.
And they do back up, and that's just going to waste a little bit of time for Kakao, who is down camp to Sejuani. Huh? Well. Flash used by Thal to get out of there. Ward placed by Beyond. And Kakao now trying to make his way up to top lane. This is very strange, though, because Beyond, who lost his blue buff, finds himself up a camp, up CS as okay.
Yeah, Tal looking for Rich here. Great knock up. Death's Grasp brings Rich all the way back in. No way that he can do anything as Kakao with the Jin Air Flare once again. And Nova max range on the dredge line as Kuzan taking a lot of damage, but lands the Trouble Bubble onto Dan Chung, and that's going to mean a lot less damage that he has to deal with. Holds onto his heal and his flash.
And Nova just trying to help Dan Chung get the crash on the wave. Kuzan is going to surrender it. And the wave does go into the turret. That's going to be a barrier picked up by the Zoe. Googer here as well to help shove out.
Yep.
As Kuzan very low in the HP department. Now, even though Aatrox died... Yep. Hanjo. I'm going.
Good flash.
Yep.
From Kakao.
So, I believe, so we heard Kakao's audio. I think one of the things about him is that he plays with his teammates muted. I think that's the thing, yeah. I believe he doesn't play with on voice.
That's really weird.
Now, I don't, maybe G-Sun can give us confirmation?
It might, yeah. Oh, maybe just muted game audio is what G-Sun's saying, which is very weird.
I've heard he plays muted.
Huh.
I've heard that he does not, I mean, he keeps his mic open.
Yeah.
But does not actually have his audio from teammates on.
Well, that is certainly strange. I don't know how that could ever be an advantage, but maybe just doesn't want the distraction.
Maybe it likens it to solo queue for him, where he feels in the zone more with the game than anything else, but I don't know. Can do some research on that if we end up going to a game number 3, hopefully, as Dynamics.
Ocean Drake does come up very easily and is taken down by Dynamics. They do have a slight gold advantage, despite the first blood going over to Seorabeol's side. As Kuzan looks for a bit of added damage there, but doesn't get it. And there's the redemption. I don't know whether that was his first, but if that was his second one, then we know that he is a fantastic Zoe player. As Rich avoiding this damage here, and will be able to keep the minion wave in a pretty good spot for the Aatrox. Especially now that he has no flash. After that first death, you can see a Bramble Vest completed by Tal. And that will help Tal out in this lane very effectively. Being able to deny the healing of the Aatrox.
Yeah, they still have the redemption. Now, the Cloud Dragon coming up second does mean that no matter what, we will have an exciting Drake.
Yeah.
So looking forward to seeing what that would be. If you're Dynamics, you want an Infernal to roll. As Kuzan whiffing on the trade a little bit.
Yep. Trying to bait Dan Chung into something. Doesn't work out there. Now lurking on the top side of the map yet again. There's a cheeky little ward here in this brush that should give Rich an opportunity to understand what's going on here. Still just trying to taunt Kakao. He knows that Beyond is here. As, once again, Kakao waiting in the brush, but he just walks in and face checks. There's the Death Realm that goes down. So see what Rich can actually do here. Beyond's going to move on in. World Ender comes down, but Rich should still be dead. No! Moves underneath the turret. Will survive for the meantime. And Beyond gets himself away as well. Danchunk rotates up, but is unable to actually impact the fight. That was very weird.
He had a ward.
Yeah.
Is there a vision bug and we don't know about it, or what?
Yeah, I think it was like, it was a bait play or something like that, but very odd to say the least.
And, okay, so.
What? Oh my god, he can't see him.
The ward's outside the brush, but I believe it's transparent, so I don't understand.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well alright, that now makes a lot of sense. So, he sensed that maybe something was up, walks into the brush.
Yeah.
And Beyond almost able to turn it around, but not quite.
Well, we were casting that, assuming that there was actually vision, as you can see the ward's dead now. I think it was just slightly outside of the brush. So I think G-Sun might update us on exactly what did happen. As Rich is going to clear this ward as well. Wards have been strange in this tournament so far.
Yeah, perhaps it was just at the very outer edge. And that's all that happened, as Dynamics, they're still ahead in gold.
Yeah.
They're up about 400. And it's not the end of the world for them whatsoever. They should be in position to get the Cloud Dragon in a minute and a half when it comes up.
And we'll see whether the Varus is going to be able to do what he can in this mid-game to get Seorabeol ahead. Because, of course, building towards many, many Dirks. Going to have that first one completed pretty soon. I believe Umbral Glaive likely to come in, unless it goes with the Ghost Blade first off, just to give him that extra movement speed. That is a good trade for Rich up here towards the top side, who's hit that level 8. Has that added 20% CDR. As Kuzan throwing his paddle stars around, will be able to clear out this mid lane again, and he has 30 CS in the lead. The Zoe moving into mid game very happily.
Well, they're just going to end up recalling here as Thal just constantly getting shoved in by the Aatrox, who is up about 15 CS, I believe. Maybe at the end of this all, maybe a little bit less. 35 seconds until Cloud Dragon is going to be available.
And man, Beyond is reading Kakao like a book. See, lying in wait, Kakao is being very, very patient. Sejuani goes home, but the Jarvan is still chilling in this brush. We'll move out and just throw Shelly into the lane.
Yeah,
they should be able to get the last of these turret plates. Oh, actually, no, it's a bit too healthy there.
Yeah. They will get a ooh, will they get the last one? No. So, a little bit unfortunate. Now, Guger gonna come over. You can see Kakao's in close proximity. Thal even here as well on the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, he's taking a popcorn chicken camp here. You can see FaZe, he went back to base as now. So, Seorabeol starting off this Cloud Drake.
They rotated 5 members over. Wait.
Oh, Danchunk just gets engaged on Cougar, makes his way into the pit. Emperor's Divide is huge, but the Azir is just dead. 2 kills already for Team Dynamics, whose team fights have been just so damn good. Tal now running away, and everyone is here on Dynamics' side as Kuzan gets over, steals Tal's flash, and Guga comes in with the face breaker. The Brambleback getting involved as well, as that is not enough shielding, and Guga's going to lock down that kill. Sangyun, no mana, no options. Cloud Drake goes down, and Dynamics a huge advantage in this mid-game.
And I have no idea what to say there. So they pick a scaling team composition, rotate 5 to the second dragon of the game, which is a Cloud Dragon. Okay? And they take this team fight. Kakao is busy starting the dragon. Thal, Death Realm's Kuzan, of all people, goes on to the Zoe. And Zoe has a lot of angles there. I mean, she still has her flash available. She has her portal jump. She can really stall the Mordekaiser for quite a long time inside of there, and Dynamics just run away with the game super early on. They pick up the Cloud Dragon for themselves. Let's take a look at this one more time. And take a look at everything that happens. The Sejuani just getting such insane value here as well. Rich popping off
He's just
on
really
the Aatrox again.
Oh, man. It's once again one of these things where, why does he get this champion every time he wants it? We know that this is what he's going to pick every single time, and Seorabeol sort of not respecting that particular option, and this Mordekaiser pick, much like the Camille, not enough to stop him from doing exactly what he wants.
And now the gold advantage is about 3,000 here at 14 minutes. Infernal did get rolled.
Oh, wow.
So that is very big for Dynamics, who... What is Kika? This is Lucifer Morningstar himself right now. This game on the Jarvan, constantly looking for things that don't yet exist. So hoping that opponents make mistakes before they do. And this has allowed Beyond to get a noticeable CS advantage over him, as well as just always play on his side of the map and constantly match and counter game everything that he's tried to do. And it's so peculiar because Jarvan doesn't need to play low economy with these champions. He's able to just go tit for tat against the Sejuani, protect the Mordekaiser in the early stages from anything, and let everyone scale up. However, right now, Dynamics, I mean, they're sitting really comfortable here as we are moving now into the mid game.
Yep, 2 minutes on that Infernal Drake, likely to be the next fight here this game. And it's so weird. I mean, I felt like Kakao played extremely well yesterday, but he seemed definitely a bit off in today's matches. I don't know what it is. Is Kuzan not going to find any bubbles here in the darkness? Dynamics just move towards this mid lane. You can see FaZe with exactly the right guns for taking down an uncontested neutral objective. Danchung spots them out here, but I have a feeling they're not going to be able to do enough as 5 members of Dynamics are in the area. Beyond gets the turnaround ultimate. There's the showstopper into the back line. Emperor's Divide does absolutely nothing as Rich is on top of Danchung and will put him in the death chamber. Kakao now out of this fight for good as Rich gets in on top of Sangyun. The Death Realm is in, and it's Rich fighting against Tal, and now Tal is going to be too far up in this lane. Going to get stunned up. The Facebreaker comes in. Cougar even grabs the kill as Trouble Bubble just barely misses onto Sangyun. And Dynamics, they move into this mid lane. They take down the outer turret. They should be able to get work done on this inner, and Shirley is going to have a really good time here as Rich just showing off some adorable bees as he dashes over this base gate.
Really feels like this game is over at this point, because it's a 6,000 gold lead at 16.5 minutes, and Dynamics are 7 minutes away from Infernal Soul. Yep. So things are really scary. Seorabeol feels like it's now or never on the second Rift Herald for a mid turret that is 1 charge away from dying anyway. It's on its last leg. And apparently it was imperative that they try to defend this, and then Dynamics says thank you very much for feeling obliged to take this team fight as they reward them by killing several and then raising 2 turrets. So,
and now it's 5,000 gold lead, a little bit more than that. 12 seconds until that Infernal Drake does come up. And I think Seorabeol have one more chance for a team fight, and taking down Rich immediately is a good idea. Worldender has been parked here as stopwatch used by Kakao. FaZe down very, very low as Kuzan. It's now up to him to try and get damage because the Infernal Drake has just spawned and Rich and FaZe are very low.
Now, Rich does have the Ocean Dragon, and you can see he's trying to heal up off the Wolf Camp.
Yeah, it has Death's Dance as well, so that's going to help.
It's all about Zoe here and what she can do.
Oh, well, there's the showstopper into the backline. Guga maybe going a little bit too early, but the haymaker keeps him alive. Dan Chung picks up that first kill, but now he's taken down very low. Rich once again with a fantastic team fight. Cacao, Permafrost taken down. Tal's gonna die just off the back end, and Dynamics looks like they just can't lose team fights today.
No, they can't. This is going to be the Infernal Dragon going over, and Atlas, the game's gone.
It is a little bit over, isn't it?
On its last leg. This is when your phone blinks and says 1% battery.
Yeah.
That is exactly what's happening. As the set didn't die! He
so
got the
long.
haymaker off, and there was just nothing for this Azir to do. Even Flash's last second for no reason. Beyond locks up Cacao. Thal goes down. I'm gonna eat dragon and then push mid line.
Yep.
Yep.
Sounded a little bit like a song. I liked it though. And this is going to be Dynamics even further ahead. Over 7,000 gold now is their lead. 4.5 minutes until that Infernal Soul is there, but I have a feeling this game may not even have 4.5 minutes left in it. As a lead this big at 19 minutes, this game is accelerated like crazy for Dynamics.
Yeah, I have no idea what Seorabeol could even hope to accomplish right now, because you also have Build-A-Bear Workshop on Mordekaiser this game.
Yeah.
So he's not even a champion. He has Bramble Vest and he has Proto Belt, which is doing nothing against Dynamics right now.
Aphelios has done the least damage in the game.
You leave him alone.
Close to least damage in the game. As Nova has unfortunately dropped the ball.
He missed the cannon.
Yeah. Well, Kuzan, he can probably quit
Okay.
at this point.
You think they would be able to win 4v5?
Maybe. Kuzan has actually been playing well in team fights, so probably not. 1-0 and 6 now on the Zoe. Had a good performance. Also has been playing a lot of different champions so far in this particular promotion tournament. And by the looks of things, he only needs to play 4 unique champions because they will only need to play 4 games. It might be one of the fastest promotions that we've seen for a team because their games have been short as well, as Dan Chung gets chunked. Kuzan is going to earn his spot with that particular chunk out. Rich is going to take a blue buff because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
I think that the blue glamour around his champion
yeah, that does
is
help.
honestly, it's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And I think that Rich knew that and decided that much like in Animal Crossing, when you want to dress up, he wanted to dress up as Atrox. So
yeah.
really appreciate if you could just recognize him for the fashionista that he is.
Well, Baron taking it 20 minutes, 2 games in a row. Ellis?
Yeah. This is really fast. Atlas has 2.5 minutes until the Infernal Soul is going to come up. Baron will convert into that, and it's looking like it's all that she wrote here in this game, as Seorabeol maybe going to have one last stand here.
Yeah, well, whether it's actually, like, fighting right now means nothing. They trade Flash for Rich is just spamming his whole thing. The Korean customers are going ballistic. We can hear in the background. Oh, man. It was very, very good. But, I mean, why are you, choosing to fight then, right? Like, fight when there's something to fight over. And in the meantime, try to get back, try to do some of these big waves, and get yourself whatever items like you can play. board there. He's just been met as he throws down the Death Realm. Now the rest of Dynamics are going to have to try and see what they can do. Beyond is there in the Death Realm with him, but look at the damage. The Showstopper gets Cougar into the backline. 3-man Facebreaker. Immediate double kill from FaZe, as this will just be the end of the game. Kuzan flashing forward. Dan Chung down very low as he has to sit on his fountain now. And Dynamics speedrunning the promotion tournament. This is likely a 24-minute victory, maybe not even that, as the next Nexus turret is going to go down. Rich flashing on top of Sungyun, has to flash to his fountain, and Dan Chung is now in the trouble bubble. 23.5 minutes for Game 2, 26 minutes for Game 1. This is one of the fastest promotions that we've seen, and this is a team